So
Recording has started.
yes. So yeah, my question was, you can share what is that one thing you are looking forward to the most this year. So you can use the chat box and you can share what are you looking forward to this year.
Lyman, please start.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, welcome to MasterClass this Friday evening. Thank you everyone for joining. First of all, a very, very happy new year to each one of you from our team and also on behalf of entire Quest Alliance. Um, so today's masterclass is on engineering education from four walls to no walls. So this webinar was something that we have planned last year itself, but we could not bring it in front of you because of one reason or the other. So finally, we are excited and happy to continue these webinars again this year. And also, like last year's, we are planning this regularly, so it will be held every Friday. So we are looking forward to have you all in every master classes. Yeah. So, ma'am, you will have to control the slides for me, please. Yeah. So this masterclass is organized by Trainer Tribe. Trainer Tribe is an online learning community, and we are on Facebook also. You can be part of this group. I will share you the link towards the end of this session. So if you want to write about this masterclass in your social media handles, please feel free to use hashtag Trainer Tribe. This being our official handle. Yeah, we can move next. So just so that we do not get distracted by any background noise, please make sure to mute yourself for the entire duration. But you can always use the chat box to leave all your comment, questions, any opinions at any time. Yeah, we can go next. We can go next. Next as well. Yeah, this one. So if you're joining us for the first time, Quest Alliance is a non-profit organization. We foster 21st century skills among young people by transforming learning ecosystems across the school to work continuum. We can go next. And Quest learner focused programs are designed to meet gaps in the school to work continuum by using educational technology, by capacity building, through partner collaborations and advocacy to create impact that changes lives. So far, so we have impacted about 1,641 government schools and 4 lakhs plus students. There was increase about 10% in school attendance and in about 9 states. And we worked with about 40 plus training partners, 400 and plus industrial training institutes, signed about state governments with MOU signed with about 6 state governments, reached about 1,30,000 youths in about 12 states. Just want to take a moment to thank all our donors and partners for their continuous support and for actually spreading the word and getting you folks around here. Yeah. So coming to today's master class, so we have Lekha ma'am with us. So Lekha ma'am was somebody who was also part of our one of the programs of that was called Arise program, which happened last year in engineering ecosystems. So we are very happy and excited to have ma'am with us today. So with this, over to you, ma'am. You can tell us a little bit about yourself, and yeah, you can take forward this.
Thank you, Lekha. I'm Lekha, Dr. Lekha Suresh, heading the Department of Electronics and Communication, Islamiah Institute of Technology. Very good evening, all ladies and gentlemen. So first and foremost, I would like to welcome you all for the masterclass. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank West Alliance and Altron for giving me this opportunity. I'm very happy to be here to discuss the topic engineering from four walls to no walls. As we are all aware of this topic, we'll together make it an interesting session. We can plan the session in such a way like engineering before pandemic, during pandemic, and after pandemic. So I wish to start the session by saying not all classrooms have four walls. So now we shall jump into the session now. So I have divided today's session into 5 phases. So in phase 1, we are going to see engineering before pandemic. So here we are going to discuss whether the classroom teaching was it informative, or was it interesting, or was it interactive. So in phase 2, we are going to see how the engineering had changed in the last few months. So we all know that there was a shift from classrooms to a virtual space, and the coaching had moved totally online, and proctored exams were conducted for fair assessments of students, and the labs are totally, or the engineering labs are totally shifted to virtual labs. The students with special needs are also into digital learning during the period of COVID. But are the students comfortable with e-learning? And in phase 3, we are going to see the challenges faced during online learning or during the pandemic. So here we see the unexplainable outcry against online teaching. Should online classes be limited? We are going to have a relook at the why online classes are necessary. And in phase 4, we are going to see the ways adapted to overcome the challenges. So the only way people had come across is the flipped classroom, which had made the classrooms interesting. Why flipped classrooms is important for 21st century? That is another topic that we're going to discuss here. And how are the IITs meeting the challenge during COVID-19 and beyond? And the last phase, that is the phase 5, here we are going to see the importance of revisiting the classroom. Even though there are many advantages in the online learning, we need to have a revisit to the classroom. So we'll see why it is. The evolution of education ecosystem in the post-pandemic, the blended classroom, so via blended learning and learning the challenges in higher education institutions post-COVID. So here we see the phase 1, that is the education before pandemic. We have all come across this situation, that is the education before pandemic. We know it was a four-wall classroom. The students were meant to sit inside the classroom. And the communication was just one way. The teacher used to communicate and the students used to listen. And I can say that this was not condition in all the classrooms. I can say the CBSE, ICSE had started online classes before this. But this was the situation in most of the classes. The students were not allowed to interact in the class. So as soon as they enter the class, they should sit calm and quiet. If they discuss among themselves, I can say they are thrown out of the class. That is, they are thrown out of the four walls. So that was the punishment before pandemic actually. But it had totally changed. The situation had totally changed during pandemic. So the topic that we are going to discuss here is, was the classroom education, was it informative, or was it interesting, or was it interactive? So what did we gain from this classroom learning, and what did we fail to get from this learning? Or I can say only from offline learning, what did we gain and what did we lose? So what we had gained was the remembering and understanding. So I can say the teacher used to come to the classroom and she used to deliver whatever she had read and she had understood to the students. The students were not allowed to give their opinion to the teachers, or they were not allowed to bring up their concepts or ideas in the classroom. So it was just one-way communication. So the students were just allowed to remember, or they were just able to remember and understand the things. So they were losing the cognitive learning in this period, I can say. So what did we fail here was the higher order of learning, that is the applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. I think in engineering, most of the teachers that come across the Bloom's taxonomy. So this is the hierarchical way of teaching or the methodology, we can say. So here the hierarchy is remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So what did we get from the classroom teaching? It was just the remember and understand. So we lack the uh, higher hierarchies like apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So in phase two, that is education during pandemic, we all know the education has shifted. There was a sudden spike in e-learning platforms, and there was a total shift from classrooms to a virtual space. And the coaching had moved online. So there's a coaching like the main advanced, for example, I'm saying NEET UG, this was totally converted from offline classes to online classes. But this was made successful even during COVID period because of the live classes, the video tutorials, and also because of the soft copies of study materials that the teachers used to send it to the students. So the only advantage of this online coaching is that the students had the flexibility to learn. That is, they use their own time or according to their convenience. They had started reading the materials or they had started seeing the video tutorials and they had attended the live classes. So it was like totally a fun type of class. I think most of the students had enjoyed this. I proctored exams for fair assessments. So online remote proctoring helped the students to take up the exams from their home itself. And the student was checked continuously, or they are checked continuously through the session using the web camera and the screen captured by means of artificial intelligence. So the reports are also produced for the evaluators as test logs and the screen captures of students and his screen as well. So if we see about the virtual lab experience, in the beginning, this was our experience actually. Even we had faced certain difficulties to take up the lab actually, but this was made a little easier because of the information and communication technology tools. But this was not okay for all the labs. It was very good for some simulation labs. The students were able to download and do the lab. But if we see that, if we take the analog labs, it was totally different. The students could not do the lab because of the lack of software. But the only advantage is the students can make mistakes without worrying about the equipment getting damaged. So here we can see if we take up the lab, analog electronics lab or some digital labs in the classroom, we ask the students, especially with the third some students, we ask the students to rig up the circuit and we ask them to call the teachers before switching on the system because we have a fear like whether they may come across a short circuit or whatever it is. But now, if with the help of the software, this was thrown out totally, the students are very comfortable. They can have the trial of the labs, and so they are very comfortable with the software labs. The students with special needs are into digital learning. If you see during the period of Corona, or after the jump into the e-learning, we could see that visually impaired people also could access laptops with the help of speech software such as non-visual desktop access or job access with speech. But the only drawback over here was the annual subscription cost was like 30 to or it's like 30 to 40,000, and the economically weaker section could not afford this. So this is the drawback of this. So wherever it is, when there are some advantages, there are some disadvantages as well. So we can see the challenges faced during the the online classes. So first thing we are like to see is are the students comfortable with e-learning? So according to the survey, it was seems like 27% students in India do not have smartphones and laptops. And 28% of students are not able to study properly due to frequent power outages. And 33% of students admitted they're not able to focus on studies during online classes. This is the survey. It was made by Times of India, actually. And there was an unexplainable outcry against online teaching. Even though there are some advantages, there are some disadvantages as well. So the parents worried about the increased screen time due to the online education for children because they have a feeling like the students are sitting in front of the system from morning to evening and their eyes may get affected because of this. And they are totally into the online class, and there is no movement for the students. They're just sitting in one place and they are watching the sessions. So here a survey conducted among parents of children, the age group of 5 to 15 years, showed that most of them are apprehensive about the increased screen time. But should online classes be limited? This was a question that was arised. And the question that remained unanswered is, how does one define the screen time limit? The original definition of screen time limit centered around television research is now obsolete. So I don't know, is there any limit for an elderly person to watch the television or the screen, or for a student to watch the television or screen? It is still unanswered. And a relook at why online classes are necessary. So we have seen many limitations of online screen, but people who see the limitations forget to see the benefits of online learning. So as I'm a professor in an engineering college, I can see there are a lot of benefits in this online learning. So actually, this economically weaker sections, they're not able to afford the books. the engineering books for them. So now we are able to download all the new books, that is newly introduced subjects, whatever books related to that, we are getting it online. So the economically weaker sections are getting benefits because of online learning, as well as maybe they are not able to afford the laptop or the phones. It is another game. But they are, I say we have a lot of benefit because of this online learning. And children seek more autonomy and intellectual freedom as they progress online. So now, almost all the students from the age of, I can say, from 5 to the higher ages, so all are able to access whatever they want from online. If they want to see the meaning of a word, also immediately they go to the website and they see the meaning. So before we used to take the dictionary and we have to carry a dictionary to school as well to see the meanings. And one more thing I can say was, so before pandemic, mobile phone was restricted in the classroom. But after or during pandemic, the situation had totally changed. We used to carry our education in our pocket. That is, the mobile phone was the full and full technology or the tool that we had used for our studies. So, what are the ways adapted to overcome the challenges that is the phase 4? So here we can see the one way that almost all the colleges have adapted is the flipped classroom. So what is this flipped classroom actually? I can say what are the ways that we had adapted to overcome the challenges in this way. If we see, one way is the flipped classroom, but for this flipped classroom, we are in need of the internet and we are in need of the laptop or other devices. So how do we overcome this if the students they don't have this? So the TV and radio are a boon for digitally deprived students. So both TV and radio, I can say I had seen many channels. They are bringing up the topics for the students, or the teachers started teaching in the channel. So both TV and radio will be important in sharing rich educational resources in an open and transparent manner. So all villages, I've seen most of the villages, they have started keeping TV or radio in the main center, and they were using it for the students. So when we say the flipped classroom, so what is this flipped classroom? Flipped learning is an approach that allows teachers to implement a methodology or various methodologies in their classrooms. So here I can say the teacher is not going to teach in the classroom. The portion was given to the students in the previous class itself, and they were asked to prepare and come for the class so that whatever we had missed in the classroom learning, we are able to get it here. So the student is going to read it on his own. So he is able to grasp the things very easily than the teacher teaching them, because he's going to see each and every meaning of the word, and he's going to understand the things and he's going to learn, and he is attending the class which is going to happen in the next day. So when the students come for the class, it is going to be an active learning. That is, the students are allowed to discuss among themselves, or we can say one student is allowed to present the thing, present the chapter, and all other students are allowed to discuss and ask questions related to this. So the active learning is happening here. The teachers need to be professionally trained to adapt to this new approach of interactive teaching to enable students to acquire the new age skills. But why do we say the teachers need to be professionally trained? Actually, before it was like I told you, like it was one-way communication. The teacher used to teach the students and the students used to hear. But here, when there are 60 students in the classroom, and when we are asking the students to prepare and come for the class, each student is going to come up with a new idea, and he is going to analyze, and he is going to create a new uh, formula, or create something in the classroom, so that the teacher should be able to give a feedback immediately, like whether what he had done is correct or not. So she should be, or he or she should be able to answer for all the students if they have any doubt, or if they are coming up with an idea. So the teacher need to be professionally trained. And here we are going to learn with some motivation, like the students uh, who are not attentive in the classroom are also made to study over here, because he is given a prominent place here, and he feels like I want to do better than other students. So each student is given importance over here. So I feel this is a better way of conducting the classroom. So what are the four pillars of this flipped classroom? Flip. So we could say it's the flexible environment, as I have told you already. Like before, educators were like they were very strict. Even in the classroom, if the students turn to the side or that side, they found it as like maybe they think they are not listening to me. He's irritating me, or something like that, and the teachers get angry and they used to send the student out. They make the student to stand in the class. So this was the punishment given to the students in the previous mode of learning, actually. So here educators itself are creating the flexible spaces. So the students are finding it very comfortable, and they are able to discuss the matters or the subjects with the teachers, and they are finding it very comfortable. So the educators create the flexible spaces here, and the students choose when and where they learn. So they have the flexibility to learn whenever they have the mood to learn, and whenever they want to learn. So this is the flexible environment. The next one is the learning culture. So here the students are involved in active learning. As I have told you already, the students are not forced to have the passive learning. The students are into active learning because they are studying it on their own. So they have, I think they have more grasping power, because this we have tried it in our class itself. I myself have tried, actually. I'd given two subjects. One, frankly, I can say I was teaching, and the other one, I had asked the students to prepare the PPT, and I'd asked them to present one by one. And there will be a discussion class, like the others will be learning the topic one day before. And the class will be like totally active, and it will be an interactive class. And I took the review from the students also, of the feedback from the students, like which one do you prefer better? Because they said like the active learning or the flipped classroom was better than the other one, than the teacher teaching them, because they are saying they are putting effort, and they are learning suppose if we have 5 modules in engineering, the students have learned some 2 3 modules on their own. So they have the confidence to attend the exam. Actually, they are very confident that I can do better in the exam. But in the other case, I can say when the exam approaches, they are going to sit to study for the exams, and it's taking time for them. That's the difference I have felt, actually, with the students. The intentional content, you see, educators decide what they need to teach and what material students should handle. This is also a way of feeding the students. Like some students, they are capable to do all the topics, but some students, they may not be able to do a few topics. So here they need our help, and we should give the topic to them, or we should ask them to do which topic to do and which not to. And professional educators. So educators should be more demanding here actually. As I have told you before, the educator should be more knowledgeable, or he should be in a more more demanding. Like the students, as I said, the classroom is going to be an active classroom. So the students, they learn, come here, discuss among themselves, and whatever they are not able to solve, also they are going to solve it here. The extreme condition, if they are not able to solve the problem, they are going to take the help of the teacher. So here the teacher should be capable of solving the problems on the spot here. Because in the golden days, whatever teachers say, the students are going to believe that, but that is not the situation now. They ask so many questions: why this, why that? So we should be in a condition to prove the whatever we are seeing, or to solve the problems. Observe the students. Actually, a continuous observation of student is necessary over here, that we should observe each and every student, whether he or she is able to do this. Suppose they are doing a group project, is there any student who is not able to mingle with other students, who is not able to adjust with those students or compete with those students? We should have an observation, otherwise mentally they may go down. So special observation or continuous observation of students is also necessary. And as I have told before, they provide instant feedback. If I say, if if we tell them that, okay, I don't know the solution for this, let me go through the internet, or let me go through some other book and I'll let you know. So I feel in the present day, this is going to be a little, what I can say, it's a down thing for the teachers. Like, so the teachers should be like ready to answer for the students at any moment and at any time. And why flipped classroom is important for 21st century. So we'll see the pros now. So students have control over their learning. So students have the freedom to learn at their own pace with the help of MOOCs and video lectures. The MOOCs is the massive open online courses. There are many open online courses in the net now. So the students can learn whatever they want through this massive open online courses. And a lot of video lectures, and almost all the notes for all the subjects are there in online. So the students can read the notes at any time and at any place. So they have the freedom over here. And active learning opportunities. The passive lecture is taken totally out of the classroom. So we can take it totally out of the classroom because the students are very much interested in the passive answer, in the active classroom. And efficient use of class time. The flipped classroom helps to master skills through collaborative projects and discussions. So in this active learning, as we had seen already, the students are allowed to uh, give their own ideas, or they are allowed to discuss among themselves if they are in a group, and they are able to come out with a solution for their projects or their uh, problems. Students take part in their own learning. Since they take part in their own learning, they are able to own the knowledge. They don't remember, forget it fast. And accountability. Students are supposed to come prepared to class. So if we say one student is not preparing, maybe he may feel that, oh, I'm not able to do it in the class. So maybe next time at least he will have that. Maybe he will do the thing, do the project, or he is going to read the topic and come prepared for the class. Hence, responsibility and accountability for their own learning also increases. And criticism, when there are pros and there is, of course, going to be the cons as well. So here there is necessary to have access to a computer and the internet. Maybe some economically weaker sections may not be able to afford this. And tough for low income groups who have very limited access to these resources. Maybe may not be able to have the internet connection at home. So this is another thing, another cons that is considered to be considered. And implementing flipped classroom adds an extra workload on teachers. So this is another question, but I don't think this adds an extra workload to teachers because the students are going to read the topic and come to the classroom. But we need to know what the topic is, and we should have a clear idea about that. I don't think it's an extra workload for the teachers. And there are several elements that must be integrated to achieve the class, the desired objective. Actually, it is not just reading and bringing out the things in the next class. We should be able to compare it with the real time and study the things so that it will stay for a longer time. And some believe if every teacher starts flipping their classroom, students spend hours in front of the computer. I don't think this is also true because if every teacher starts flipping their classroom, uh, in the classroom, he is not going to sit in front of the computer. In the classroom, it's going to be an active learning. He is going to learn only when he wants to read because now even he himself is like, I want to read this and I should be ready for the next class. So he is going to take his own time and he is going to read. It is not that he's sitting for the whole day. So I don't think the student is going to spend hours in front of the computer because the next day the classroom is going to be an active classroom. And how about the IITs meeting the challenge during COVID-19 and beyond? So if you see the IITs deployed national program and technology enhanced learning as early as 2003 itself. So here I want to say one thing, like many colleges, they had started this online mode of teaching or including this online mode, that they have included the online mode of teaching in their curriculum. Uh, but but it was not it has not come out to the students actually, or to the, I can say, to the people, because people were like in the concerned place, like this is what is correct, the teacher should teach and we should learn. If we give a seminar to the students also, some teachers, they say, oh, she's not teaching, she is asking the students to give the seminar. But I feel this, we should do this. The students should give the seminar so that it increases their confidence level actually. And this enabled the IITs and IAC to share videos on their classes with the world. And it was successful with nearly 1 billion views of the content posted, and it had become the most accessed higher education content on YouTube as well. And since 2014, NPTEL has offered massive open online courses based on NPTEL courses for free. The students and learners across the nation are now able to enroll for IIT courses, and they have a unique online interactive experience with IIT faculty as well. And the rigor of an in-person examination is also there, and the satisfaction of receiving an e-verification certificate is also there. So over 1 crore of students enrolling for these courses now, and nearly 1 million registering for in-person exams as well. And this NPTEL is playing a prominent role in enabling study web of active learning for young aspiring minds projects. And the phase 5, we see the importance of revisiting the classroom, that is the blended classroom. So what is this blended classroom? So now we have seen about the classroom inside 4 walls, and we have seen the online classes as well. Now, what would be the future? So this is going to be the future, that is the blended classroom. So what is this blended classroom? So the evolution of education ecosystem in the post-pandemic. So this is going to happen in the post-pandemic. So the real evolution of our education ecosystem will take place in the post-pandemic phase, actually. So when the college reopens now, so this is the mode of teaching that maybe all colleges are going to follow. Actually, if the pandemic would not have come, we would have faced a lot of problems to get into e-learning. So here, what is blended learning? So here, this is a mixture of classroom learning plus e-learning. So it is called as the blended learning. So here, every education institution should have its own blended digital recipe. It's not that they have to follow a particular methodology. They can have their own methodology. They can mix and match things and they can follow their own blended learning. So schooling via blended learning format, some schools are even now they are struggling to impart online education. So many schools, if you see the government schools, they haven't yet started the classes for the lower grade students. So they should also take this into concern and they should start teaching those students as well. And others are seamlessly adapted with the blended learning models already in place. And students have shown that blended learning methods are more effective. Sorry, studies have shown that blended learning methods are more effective than face-to-face lessons in the classroom. So here we are going for both online and as well as the offline classes. So the classroom is also going to be very active and it's going to be a fun-filled classroom. So it encourages great deal of flexibility, convenience, cost effectiveness, and also they are able to deliver it during the particular target. And can blended learning address the challenges in higher education institutions post-COVID? So this is still a challenge based on the subject and based on the educator as well, I can say, because some subjects maybe this blended learning may not work out. I feel so. This is a challenge based on the subject. So I can conclude the session by saying that in online learning, we don't have that collaborative type of learning. So if it is a blended classroom, we are going to get both the cognitive, collaborative, and also the students are able to socialize among the other students and the teachers. So this is one of the advantage of revisiting the classroom, I can say, but we can go for the blended classroom over here. So I think this conclusion was brought based on the SWOT analysis. That is the inside, you can see the weakness and the weakness of the system and the outside opportunities and the threats. So I can say the future is going to be the blended classroom. Yeah, now over to line.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure it was such an insightful session for all of us, getting to know from the engineering perspective. So, yes, ma'am, you have a question from Padma. Would you like to take that?
Yeah. Yes, Padma.
So yeah, if anyone has any question you would like to share anything, please feel free to use the chat box. Also, you can unmute yourself and please do speak. So yeah, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. What's the question? Does blended learning have the potential to bridge the gap between the quality of education in government schools and private schools? Yeah, of course. I can say even the government schools, they have to start working on this system So I feel like yeah, they should start working on this system actually. So the government schools already they are into the type of learning that I can say they are still in the type of learning which we had followed before pandemic. But now because of this corona, I can say they have also shifted to the online learning. So I can say this blended learning will bring the government school students also in the level of like the private school students. So this helps the government school students. Nowadays, we can see many students fail to give up the NEET exams or to give up the JE exams or the advanced exams because of the coaching system in their schools. So if we bring up this blended classroom in the government schools as well, I feel that they can easily catch up to all this this the entrance exams or the other competitive exams. So this will help them a lot actually. Is any other questions? Hope I have answered your question, Padma. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Padma, for actually asking such an important question. So, if anyone has any more question, you would like to share your opinion on this or any other opinion, please feel free to use the chat box, and also feel free to unmute yourself and do speak. Meanwhile, I am launching the poll so that we can uh, plan our future master classes in a much better way. Meanwhile, we can continue the Q&A round. Yeah, I have launched the poll. Please take a minute to fill this. Meanwhile, you can also continue asking questions to ma'am.
Yeah, any questions? I think if you have any experience on this online classes and offline classes, please feel free to share here.
Yes, like ma'am said, you can share your own experience too. I'm sure it was such a year in 2020, and lot has changed, and it is going to change this year too. So if you have any experience from the field, from your own classroom experience, how it has changed, uh, so yeah, feel free to share.
You can answer for this question. What do you feel like? Was the online class interesting or the offline class interesting? Or which one was interactive and which one was informative?
Ma'am, there is a question from Yismat ma'am. Hi ma'am, it's been quite a long time. So Yismat ma'am has a question for you, ma'am. Would you like to take that? It says in the rural areas, how can we incorporate blended learning?
The question is, I have seen coding classes being conducted in government schools before pandemic. Students looked quite engaged at the resources used were digital media. Yeah. Maybe I can say that some schools they already have the digital media and they are equipped with the internet and whatever new technologies actually. So maybe those schools, they are able to do that. But even in the present situation, I could see some schools, they don't have the basic facilities as well. So maybe the government should take initiative to have such technologies in their schools as well, because the future is going to be totally digital, I can say. And we have seen the future is going to be a blended classroom, so we need the classroom session as well, and we need to have the digital session as well. And I feel like in the future, the education or the engineering labs is totally going to be software. Because even now, when we were studying, many of the analog labs we used to conduct in the lab. Only the software labs we used to do in the computer. But now we have all analog labs also we are able to do in the system. We have softwares for that, and we are able to rig up the circuit in the software, and we are able to get the output. So the future is going to be, I think it's going to be totally digital. So all the government schools, they have to get equipped with the new technologies. I would like to share one more thing here. Actually, we were all trained by the RISE TOT team actually, and I'm very thankful for the Quest Alliance for that. So when we were trained, actually, they had given up a question for us, like we were grouped into some 4, 5 groups, and they had asked us to dream about our future classroom. Actually, I'm proud to say here that our team had come up with an idea like the this should be the situation, like we should be able to attend the class from anywhere and at any time. So I'm proud to say that we had this idea before the pandemic itself. And thanks to the RISE team to bring out that from our mind. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for this amazing response. So, for those of you who are wondering what Arise TOT ma'am had just mentioned, so it was a program that we had with engineering education system. So that was a program by Quest Alliance, a partnership with Ultron. So yeah, thank you, ma'am, for mentioning that. Um, so is there anyone who has any more questions? Otherwise, I think we are good to go with today's session. We'll wait for a few more seconds.
Yeah, in the rural areas, how can we incorporate a blended learning? Yeah, this is a very good question, actually. So, as I have told you before, how do we overcome the challenges? In that, I have told you, like TV is the one of the uh, tool that we can have in the rural areas to teach the students TV channels. So we can have a common TV or in the common library in the village or somewhere, and we can have the anyway that will help them for the online classes. And anyway, of course, they are going to have the classroom session as well. So this may help the students to get the blended classroom efficiency. Hope it's fine. Uh, yeah. Yeah, another question we can see CSR activities enhancing blended learning in government schools, such as digital training of teachers to use online tools, preparation of e-materials, donation drive of used laptops, smartphones, etc. Yeah, very nice to hear this actually. Yeah, even I see like many of the schools, they are coming up with the latest technologies, even many people are taking initiative to help the weaker sections with the old laptops, old phones, etc. So I think very soon all the weaker section students will also be equipped with the gadgets, whatever they want for the blended learning or the online learning. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions were. So thank you everyone for your for making this one engaging and interactive. And yes, thank you, Lekha ma'am, for actually spending your Friday time, Friday evening with us. And so this was our first master class for this year, and I am very excited to have this ongoing and looking forward to have you all every Friday master classes. And those details will be updated on our Trainer Tribe Facebook group. I have just shared you the link. Please make sure that you are part of the group in order not to miss any communications related to Trainer Tribe. And not only that, we also do post regular content that may actually help you in many ways. So please make sure to be part of the group. So the link that I have shared is the Facebook group that would just take you directly to the group. So just click on that and you will be part of the group. Um,
I want to thank all the participants and the Quest Alliance, especially Lima and Angela. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you everyone for your time. And I wish you all a very, very, very happy New Year once again, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Yeah, see you next Friday. Thank you, everyone.